All right, I'm gonna gather up my section. Return it to 1¼ inch wide. Right to my heel check. Right to the off edge, hitting parallel, down at the top of the caulk. Half face blow. Gather up my section. Nope. Back to the heel check. Hitting at the top of the caulk. Now setting it down. How do you make a corner? How do you forge a corner on something? You never hit it. You hit everything but that corner. You gotta take away everything on either side of it and leave what you want to be the corner. I want a good 90-degree corner here like I talked about before, to where a square would fit right over it. Exactly. So, the way I hit everything but that corner is by coming up underneath, like that. Keeping relief. If I hit like that, I'll never get a corner and I'll always have a caulk that's leaning back. I want that thing right up underneath that horse's foot, not leaning out behind it. So, I'm hitting with a little bit of relief. I'm coming up under, hitting like this. And then when I'm flattening, I'm hitting everything right up to there. Forging a corner. Rhetorical means I either already know the answer or I don't care. So, the leading edge of that heel caulk is exactly 1¼ inch. Just like the branch. Now if that gets thinner than the branch, it looks terrible. If it's wider than the branch, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. I've got good definition to that heel caulk. Got a nice heel check. It's not over twisted to where I have to put a huge sharp quarter bend in it. I can just put a nice gradual quarter bend to bring that thing into the line of travel. I'm gonna run down from my quarter through my heel on the outside edge. Overlapping blows. Now I'm gonna 180 it to true up my section. Now I'm down to about 1 inch, but I'm still gonna hang 1¼ inch over it because I want the same height of heel caulk. Hitting with the heel of my round side. Offsetting my caulk and creating my heel check. Now I'm going to chamfer off my edges. Now I'm going to start my quarter bend here. Got to get my tongs in a strong position. Bending with my tongs, not my hammer. And it doesn't take much, just a little bit. Just being patient, waiting for that to bend. No, I'm making a quarter bend, not a toe bend. He said that I didn't do a good job, is what he said. All right, now my shoe, because of running it up and narrowing that section, it's a good solid 5/8 of an inch thick. We need to flatten that out before I turn that caulk up. So come on, Cracker Man. Thank you. We might as well mark our fullering while we're at it. I should have mentioned this before, but when I use my calipers on this shoe, I ran my lateral fullering right up to the caliper mark. My medial fullering, I stopped about 1/8 of an inch shy of my mark. What happens is, I know that this branch of the shoe, when I'm fullering it, it's very easy for my striker to push this with his hammer. Every time we get to the end, he's gonna push it a little bit, and that eventually is gonna shove that 1/8 of an inch up further than what I have it marked. On this side, he has to pull it, and it's not very effective. You can't really pull this side up with the striking hammer. So I've compensated for that so that I don't end up with a rack toe in the final product.
So that's not necessarily medial or lateral, it's just left and right.
Left and right. Same thing here, this is a medial branch, so I'm gonna neck it up a little. I'm gonna try and turn up the exact same amount I did before. Notice how I'm using my tongs to bend. I started up like that and I dropped it. Not real heavy on these. If you hit it real heavy, you'll shove all that material back into the branch. Once again, hitting at an angle, driving that material into that back corner. Just making a block. You got to develop a rhythm with heel cocks. In my head, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Goes back to just like what I was saying yesterday about making pairs. If you want pairs, do the same thing to both branches. Same number of hits, same position over the horn, same amount of fullering, same amount of shaping, and it'll be symmetrical. Same thing with a heel cock. You hit all sides equal amount of times, it's gonna stay pretty symmetrical. Now all I'm looking for is getting the end of my cock parallel to the edge of the anvil. And I want the edge of the anvil running right through my heel cock where the offset is. Right in the little dent that the anvil made. And I'm going to hit the outside top corner. Lloyd really did it to it. That's beautiful. All right, now I'm going to go back to my horn maneuver. The medial cock, I don't really want it offset from the branch very much. It has to be safe. I don't want a whole lot of cock sticking out here to where it's going to hit the horse's other limb. I'll do a little bit of hemming, then we'll run the fullering. Being careful to preserve my shape. From the toe to the quarter, I'm staying on my side of the anvil, the straightening side. As I get to the quarter, I'm going to skip across the quarter and go to the bending side while I hem. That's going to keep my toe or my quarter bend from getting straightened out. So yeah, maintain that bend. It's real easy. If you start going diagonal, you're going to completely straighten that quarter bend out and just have an oval. Notice I have not set down those cocks yet. I'm just leaving them hanging there. Wow, that shot a piece of slag right into my mouth. That is beautiful. Good job, Lloyd. Now me and you'll flatten this branch a little. I'm going to go right to my heel check. I've got my block, nice and symmetrical. I'm going to start at the back of it, hitting at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to watch that hammer mark. As it moves toward the leading edge, I'm going to stop about an 1/8 inch shy. You can see there's a little bit of an 1/8 inch flat spot right in front of the heel check. That's keeping my leading edge from getting pinched. Now I'm going to hang it over the off edge. I'm going to rotate the toe away from the heel check. I'll do it on this side so Chad could see. Rotate away from the heel check, hit parallel to the anvil face at the top of the caulk. Step behind it, leave it there, half face blow. This is building my corner. By not hitting it, I'm building it. Step around here and go right to my heel check. Then I'm going to set down the top. Right to my heel check. Right over the edge. And this is the medial branch. It's not going to get near as sharp of a quarter bend as the outside. So I don't need to twist it as much. The more you twist it and cant that caulk, the more quarter bend you have to put in to get it to come in line with travel. And the medial side of most draft horse feet and most saddle horse feet for that matter don't have near as much quarter bend as the lateral side. Back to my heel check. When I'm doing the leading edge, I'm making sure to keep the back side of the caulk flat on the anvil, and I'm trying to hit parallel to that. So since I've canted it, I have to lean the shoe back toward me to achieve that. If I hold it vertically and I hit, I'm going to uncant the caulk and I'm going to wreck the shape. Does that make sense? All right, I've talked too much. I gotta get more heat, but I should have finished at that heat. That's very doable. That method of making a heel caulk is easily done in 2 heats on any size heel caulk you want to build. I'm going to do some hemming. I'm going to lean that toward the ground surface of the shoe. I'm going to lean my hammer toward the ground surface. Just shy of the start of that fullering. I don't want to go past it. Staying on my side of the horn to the quarter, skipping across the quarter, and going to the bending side. I'm looking underneath my shoe to see what my horn's doing. That way I can stop just right when my heel check gets to the horn so I don't crush my little bit of a heel check. I'm going to take the back edge off also, so I'm going to lean it the other way. Don't be afraid to move your feet when you're working on the anvil. Your feet do not have to be planted directly in front of the anvil. You buy the whole thing, you might as well use the whole thing. Thanks, Wood. You're saving my tongue. Take advantage of the heat. Hold on. You don't have to go to the end of your fullering every run. Just take advantage of that heat and get your depth up here where the nail holes are going to go. You don't have to fuller it very deep back behind the widest part, so you don't really need much heat to do that. When working with your striker, if your shoe's bending a lot when you're fullering and punching, normally it's because you're pushing down on your tong hand. I'm doing it for an example. I'm pushing down and see how that heel's rising up? That's for me pushing down. Hold on. Hit it right there. Right over the daylight. Now, I'll do a run picking up. Just slightly. The work becomes much more solid. It's not jumping around as much. Look, I'm barely even holding my tongs. I'm not even squeezing them closed. And this shoe's cold and it's not jumping. Only because I'm picking up on the tongs. Now watch when I push down. Ow, ow. Bad monkey, don't do that. If you're over here like that while you're fullering, you're bending that shoe a lot, creating a lot more work for yourself. All right, back to my heel check. Working at the top of the caulk, not down here at the bearing surface of the shoe. I'm working at the ground surface of the caulk. I'm going to hang it over the edge, twist it away slightly, and hit parallel. I'm going to step behind it with my half face blow, iron that shoe out, gather my section up right to the leading edge, being careful not to hit the caulk, right to my check, and set it down. True up my leading edge, set it down. A little bit of heel check, over the edge, Back to the check. Back to here. Heel check. I like to round off my corners on my medial heel caulk. I don't think they need to be sharp. So the way I do that is when I've got that thing set up here, I come in and knock the inside corner off, the outside corner off, just a little bit. All right, there it is. They've just been rounded off a little bit for safety. I've left the outside pretty sharp. My leading edge is about 1 inch wide, just a hair over 1 inch to match my branch.
How long are you till you center point?
Not very long. Just under 7, about 6 7/8.
Draw a good bit.
Huh?
You're gonna have to draw it a good bit.
Yeah.